Hey everyone, it's Pickleball with Tyler with Universal Rackets, and in this video we're going to be doing a full masterclass on how to control your dinks. If you feel like you struggle in dinking rallies, if you feel like you pop the ball up too many times, then this is going to be the video for you. Regardless of your playing level, if you watch this video, we're going to give you tons of tips, tons of tricks, tons of hacks and techniques on how to control your dinks. We have all been in that situation before. You and your partner verse two opponents, super competitive, and you go and you're dinking, and then you try to maybe speed the ball up and it's not the right time, and your opponent counters it, and your partner looks at you like, what the heck? Or you're dinking cross court, you pop the ball up to your opponent, you leave your partner like a sitting duck, and they smash the ball at them. If you feel like you struggle with that, if you feel like you've been in that situation, then this is going to be the video for you. Let's go. Now, the first thing that we have to go over, and I think the number one reason why players struggle up in the kitchen and they can't control their dinks is because they've never established feel before. What does feel mean? Feel means that you're absorbing the shot rather than hitting the shot. This type of feel, it can instantly help you by just thinking. Instead of hitting the ball, you're pushing or absorbing the ball. If you have unnecessary movement, if you hold the paddle tight, if you take too big of a swing, you're going to lack control. If you want to be a good pickleballer up at the kitchen, instead of thinking all about your technique and all these different things, think about feel and think about absorbing the shot. This is a great way and a great... Now this right here is the best exercise to automatically tell if you have this thing called feel or if you don't. All I want you to do is get a ball and hold your paddle. And what you're going to try to do is you're trying to go... Now this right here is the best drill for you to tell if you have feel or not. You're going to get a ball and you're going to get a paddle and you're going to toss the ball up kind of high. When you toss the ball up kind of high, you're going to try to catch it on the paddle and you're going to see what happens. So toss the ball up in the air and try to catch it on the paddle. Do two more. Give yourself 3 tries. Good. One more. Now, did you A, catch the ball on the paddle, B, drop the ball, or C, when you try to catch it, it bounced up high? So again, when you try to do this, does it go like that or does it go like this? If it's going like this and it's popping up, that means you don't have feel. That means your paddle isn't absorbing the shot. What I want you to do, and how do we get the ball to really land on the paddle like that? It's very simple. I'm releasing my grip. And also, I'm carrying the ball downward. Too many players just go to the ball. They're having their paddle meet the ball and not the ball meet the paddle. Yes, you want to be aggressive, and yes, you want to go out to the ball, but you need to absorb the energy of the ball. You don't need to just hit it back and pop it up. We're going to hit the courts now, and we're going to show you exactly what this looks like. Again, when I'm hitting, I'm not swinging at it. I'm not hitting at it. I'm absorbing and I'm pushing it back. When I swing or if I hit, if I pop the ball up in the air, I'm going like this. What I need to do is I need to absorb. The first thing to do, again, is loosen up your grip and just work on throwing the ball up in the air and trying to catch it. In order to do this, you can't have a tight grip or the ball is going to go up. That's going to teach you. The second thing that you can do, and this is kind of counterintuitive, and a lot of players, and they hear a lot of things on social media, and they say, oh, well, you want to be short. You want to keep your swing short. You see, you're not taking a giant swing. It's just a push. You need to keep it short to have good hands. So then we all go, and we go out, and we're like, okay, we got to keep it short. We got to keep it short. We got to keep it short. The ball's going up every single time. If my opponent was right there, they would smash the ball at me every single time. Why? Because you're not swinging through your shot. Yes, you need to keep your swing short, but you still need to make sure that you have a follow through. I want you to think that you're going to carry the ball a slight millisecond longer than you typically do. Players go wrong in dinking rallies because they stop at contact. If I stop at contact, the ball's going to go up. Instead of stopping at contact and slamming the brakes on my paddle, I'm going to go forward and carry it. Notice, instead of stopping at contact, again, the moment that I stop and, oh, I got to keep it short, I pop it up. I need to go forward and throw it. I want you to think of music. It's not a staccato note. It's not a dot, dot, dot. It's connected. It's connected. I forget the terminology for music, but it's all connected together. You're going to dink and be ready. You're going to dink and then be ready. You're not here, here, here. Stop thinking short, stop thinking hit, think carry and absorb. Think carry and feel. And how do we do so? We do it by the drill. And also, we're just thinking that we're swinging 1 more millisecond forward than we typically do. The less you swing, the higher likelihood you're going to pop the ball up if you're holding the paddle tight or if you're really accelerating into your shot. And that's a big thing. If you swing really little and you're not exaggerating your swing at any point, it's going to be okay. But where players go wrong to another extent is that they accelerate first and then they decelerate. You want to keep the same motion, and that's why we like to say push, and that's our next tip. Now, I'm giving you a ton of things, but it's because everyone talks about dinks and how to improve, you got to do this, that. Guys, it's dinking. So I'm giving you tons of tips, and different tips work for different people, not one size fits all, so keep on going with me. The next thing that you need to think, push and not hit. A great way to slow down your swing and not go out to the ball like a staccato note or really fast is you're going to think that you're pushing it. You're pushing it forward. When I push, my paddle's literally going from here to here, but notice I'm not going here. I'm keeping the same swing speed. When you push something and you're not shoving it, you're pushing it. So what I want you to do, and a great drill to do for pushing, is literally start here. I'm going to do a forehand, and then all you're going to do is you're going to just meet the ball out in front and hold it. Again, you're going to start with the ball out in front, start with your paddle back and just meet the ball. Ball out in front, paddle back, meet the ball. Here, I'm pushing. I'm not swinging to it, I'm just pushing to it. I'm carrying the ball. So step number 1, establish feel. Hold your paddle loose, absorb the shot, and then also think that you're pushing the ball and you're hitting 1 more millisecond longer. Now the next thing that we have to do is we have to make sure that we eliminate our backswing. Now every single pickleball video that you have probably ever heard up at the kitchen tells you to eliminate your backswing. But where players go wrong, and as you can see, everyone gets told to eliminate their backswing, but what happens? They still end up popping the ball up. And the reason why is because, oh, well, don't take the paddle back behind you. And then what? Popped it up, opponent gets killed or partner gets killed. Instead of not taking the paddle back behind your body, you're not going to take your paddle back behind my wrist. Remember, before, I'm not taking it back behind my body. Good job, but you still get smashed. Now, I'm not taking the paddle back behind my wrist. Whenever I'm dinking, I'm not taking the paddle back here or here. I'm keeping my elbow in, and I'm just moving the paddle side to side. Where players go wrong, and this is the main culprit of every bad thing up at the kitchen, why you can't control your dinks or volleys or anything, is because your elbow goes out of whack. If you can keep your elbow, and the elbow, it's like the Slim Jim commercial. You have the angel and the devil talking on your shoulders. This elbow is the #1 bad thing in pickleball. The elbow leads to so many bad things. The moment that I take my paddle back, look at my elbow. My elbow's not where it should be. If I can keep my elbow tucked into my body, now what's going to happen? I'm going to keep my paddle here. And again, I like to think like a fish. When a fish swims, it goes here and here. When I use my paddle for dinking, I'm going back and forth, just like a fishtail. Here, here, here. I'm not going here, here, here. I'm not like a big giant whale. I'm just like a little fish in the river. Boom, boom, boom. So never take the paddle back behind your wrist. So if it's a forehand, I'm going to go here and up. If it's a backhand, I'm going to go here. Now, the next thing, we just talked about this, and up. Now, here's the big thing. We're not flipping burgers like we are at Five Guys. We're not at Five Guys. We're not flipping burgers or Shake Shack or Culver's. They have that down in Florida. Absolutely amazing. What you're doing is you're using your arm and your shoulder to lift the ball, and you're not using your wrist. This kind of goes with before, but a lot of players accelerate into their shot, or they use their wrist to lift the ball up in the air or hit the ball in the net. What you want to do, when I'm hitting a backhand or a forehand, I'm going up with my arm and my shoulder. I'm using this when I hit. I'm using my arm and my shoulder. I'm not using my wrist. The moment I use my wrist, I have that unnecessary acceleration. I'm going to pop the ball. If I use my arm and shoulder and use this, that's how I'm going to keep the ball in. Same exact thing for the forehanding. I'm here and I'm using my arm and my shoulder. By using my arm and my shoulder, that's going to help me be compact, concise, and controlled. And think, when you're dinking, you want very little to go wrong. Less is more at a certain extent. And again, before I told you to make it longer, but in general, once you stop accelerating, going super short, trying to slam the brakes, now you want to be efficient, you want to be controlled, and you want to be compact. The next thing that you have to do, always to control your dinks, is you have to make sure you finish in your ready position. Now, the main reason why players can't do this or they can't achieve it is they're not in the right ready position. You want your paddle up and out in front. Now, you want your paddle here. If you're up here, that's why you're popping your dinks up. If you're down here, that's why you're getting smashed at you. You always want it to be here, kind of like happy medium. If you're really up here, this is where tennis players come from. They have to drop their paddle down and then they swing up, they pop the ball up and they can't get balls that are coming. Because any ball that's around here, if you're in a tennis ready position, is long or it's at your face, right? So you want to be a little bit lower, you want to be here. But every single time, notice when I do this for my forehand or my backhand, look, here we are. I finish here with my arm and my shoulder, right? Not my wrist. And here we are, one more, here, here. By doing this, by making sure I finish where I start and start where I finish in my ready position, it will make sure that I automatically swing up. I never, ever, 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 ever have to think about swinging up and lifting the ball over net. Don't think that. The reason why you pop the ball up in the air is because you're thinking, oh, I need to swing up, I need to lift the ball, I need to get the ball out of net. By doing this, you're exaggerating, you're accelerating, which is what we spoke about before. And what do? You end up popping the ball up in the air. Just think finish in your ready position. You're not swinging up, you're finishing in your ready position. But by being in your proper ready position, ending up here, what's it going to do? It's going to automatically finish up. Now, a question that comes in my mind that I feel like a lot of people are going to ask is, hey, why is your ready position here and not here if you're hitting dinks? Well, think, when you hit a dink, the ball's going to bounce and you're going to hit it. You're going to have more time than if you just hit a volley. So you want your ready position to be for a volley so you can get to the ball back, but if it's a dink, you can automatically go down. Does that make sense though? Think about it. I want you guys to really think about it because many players don't. They think about swinging up, hitting the ball up, lifting the ball. No, just finish in your ready position. By finishing in my ready position, my paddle will automatically end up where it should be, and it will also automatically lift the ball up. Now, if you're still kind of hesitant, if you're still, okay, you're going to do that, but I can still miss the ball in the net, very simple. Whenever the ball is below the net, you need to angle your paddle upward. Once again, whenever the ball is below the net, you need to angle your paddle upward. Players go wrong because they have this amazing, they come from tennis or they're hitting drives back to the baseline, and then they have this grip that they're tilted down. Okay, that's good for a topspin, but if you're really struggling, you want your dinks to be consistent, whenever you're making contact below the net, forehand or backhand, you need your paddle face to be facing upward. Pretend that there's a laser shining up the center of your paddle. By having your paddle open, now it's going to automatically lift the paddle. So think, whenever you're making contact on your dinks, and you want to make them consistent, open the paddle face, open the paddle face. Don't close the paddle face. If I'm hitting a forehand, I'm here. If I'm hitting a backhand, I'm here. Now, I'm not exaggerating, but all I'm doing is opening, opening. Well, what grip? Make sure a continental grip, but just make sure, again, you open. Again, by opening and finishing in my ready position and pushing, not swinging, not hitting hard, that's how you're going to get the ball back. Now, we have some more tips for you, but we're going to get into a strategy tip. Now, the biggest thing is don't pop the ball up, don't pop the ball up, don't pop the ball up. What happens? Law of attraction. If you say that 15 times, what are you going to do? You're going to pop the ball up. So instead, what I want you to think is when you're up in the kitchen, you can be there for as long as possible. You can hit 10, 15, 20, you can hit 30 dinks. You're going to out-dink your opponent. Even if you're against Ben Johns, well, this isn't going to work. At least for me, I would get intimidated by Ben Johns. But you need to think you can be there as long as possible. It's kind of like getting into an ice bath. When you get into an ice bath, and I've done this before, I'm really good at ice baths. I don't like pride myself on it and like, oh, why ice bath for like, okay, it's just an ice bath, dude. But here's the thing, when you get into an ice bath, if you think, oh, it's super cold, I'm gonna die, you're not going to be able to be in it for a long time. If you're in an ice bath and you're, okay, I can feel the sun, okay, I'm warm, okay, I'm here, what's going to happen? You're going to be able to stay in there longer. When I get into my ice bath, I think that, okay, sun's hitting me, I'm warm, I have this invisible force field around me that's making me really warm. I can stay in there for a long time, like over like 15 minutes I can really do it, like 39, 40, 41, whatever it is, right? People are like, oh my gosh, how? But I don't dunk my head in, that's the only thing. I hear it's much more difficult than that. I'll only go to up here. But same thing, when you're dinking, right? If I dink anyone except for Ben Johns or Annalee, because then you're done, but any other time, right? Okay, I can be here. Okay, here we are. I'm going as long as possible, going as long as possible, going as long as possible. By thinking that you can be there forever, you're going to be able to get more balls back than you typically do if you think, don't pop it up, don't pop it up, or oh no, they're dinking to me, I don't want to mess it up or anything. Mindset shift, regardless of your playing level, that's going to change a ton. The next thing that you want to do is you want to make sure you get into your legs. The reason why is because if I bend down at my waist, watch, when I swing and I use my arm and shoulder, I swing upward. If I get into my legs and I get down, now look, I swing more forward. By getting into your legs and dropping your center of gravity, by bending, sitting back and bending down, dropping your center of gravity, and if you're 6 feet, be 5 feet, if you're 5 feet, be 4 feet, by doing that, rather than bending down and scooping, it's going to make your swing pass more forward and less upward. The more you bend at your waist and you go down, you're going to pop the ball up. The same ball, if I hit this way and I get down, now I'm going to swing forward. The lower you get, the more forward of a swing path rather than low to high upward, and that's going to help you eliminate popping the balls up and be more consistent. Now, the next thing that we're going to go over is the get out of jail free card. Now, number one, what you need to do is when you are in a dinking rally, if you get pulled out cross court, go cross court. Don't go down the line. Too many players, where they go wrong is they don't go down the line, or they don't go down the line when it's the right time. So they're here, they're dinking, maybe they hit 2 dinks and they get afraid and go down the line. When you go down the line, it's a higher net and also less distance. If you want to be more consistent on your dinks, hit 1 more dink cross court than you typically do before going down the line. Now, when do you want to go down the line, you must say? Well, very simple. Either A, the ball's high, and if it's either at or behind this dot when you're leaning over, right, you can go forward and you can be aggressive, hit straight ahead so when the ball's higher. Or another thing that you can do is when you have space between you. Oh my gosh, that was the worst demonstration whatsoever. Let's try it one more time. Also, when you have, one more time, I'm not cropping this out so you guys can see how it's organically works. Also, when you have space, if you have space between yourself and your ball, you can hit with speed and hit hard. Now, that's more advanced, and if you're that advanced, you might not be watching how to control your dinks, but when you have space, that's when you can be aggressive. A lot of players are playing off the line now. It's something different that they're doing in 25 compared to 2024, 2023. You want to stand up here, hit every ball out air, and now they're saying, okay, if the ball bounces a little bit high, you can move back and create space. If you have space, then you can go down the line, or if you can make contact at the net or higher, you can go down the line. But any other time, you always want to go back cross court. Always want to go back cross court every single time. Now, the next thing that you can do, and I said get out of jail free card, and we're getting into it now, is whenever you get pulled out wide, go in the middle. In the middle resets. It's like a factory reset to your iPhone. It gets you out of jail. If you ever feel like you're in trouble, go down the middle. A lot of players, where they'll go wrong is they get pulled out wide and they'll fight or flight. They'll go straight ahead, they'll get killed, or they'll what? Try to go cross court and then they'll leave an ATP or their opponent just lean over, because if you're off balance, if you're in trouble, it's going to be really difficult to do. If I ever get pulled out wide and I'm like done, what do? In the middle. The reason why you go in the middle is because it resets point. At less angle eliminates less angle, right? So you can't hit a lot of angle from no angle. So if you hit in the middle, it allows you to get back in the point, causes miscommunication, eliminates the angle, and you're going to live to hit another dink. If you can start implementing all these different tips and tricks that we went over, if you can start absorbing the shot, doing that catching the paddle, keeping your body down, keeping your body forward, and also making sure your body's balanced. That's huge, and I forgot about that. When you hit, a lot of players aren't controlled at the kitchen because that they're hitting and they're moving away. When I hit, watch, after I hit, I want to be balanced when I hit. Again, after I hit, I want to make sure my body's always balanced. The more I'm flailing, the more I'm moving, the worse I'm going to be. And a great way to do it is get into your legs. You're going to hit more forward, like the tip we went over before. And then also, again, you're going to be balanced so less things can go wrong. Think the more things that are happening with you, the more things that can go wrong. So make sure you do all that. You hit more forward, you absorb, you push, you don't hit, you lift up. You think it happens as a result, you don't force it. You open up your paddle face, you're going to be in more control. You're going to have more control. You feel like you're going to feel more confident, paired with the strategy tip of thinking that you can always dink one more ball. It's going to take your game to the next level. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We have a brand new membership thing for Universal Rackets. If you want, you can join. You can either A, support the channel, B, you can join our weekly exclusive Zoom group coaching where you and some other Universal Rackets followers will be on the Zoom call. We'll all be going over topics, Q&A, can ask me questions, everything like that. If you want private online sessions, you can join level 3. If you want private online sessions, in-person sessions, if you want to, what is it? If you want stroke analysis, if you want my number, text so I can help you whenever you need, there's a subscription for that too. So make sure to check out that link. Have a good one. Make sure to share this to your pickleball group chat. I hope this helps you. I hope you're able to now outthink your opponents, or at least you have all the tools to do so. And I will see you guys next time on court.